And eNCA continues highlighting remarkable women in various fields. Joburg-based law firm MNS Attorneys is paving the way for future generations of female lawyers, judges and other legal professionals. And to tell us more about this, we are joined by attorneys Kanabo Skhosana and Ororiseng Maema. Thank you so much for your time. It's good to have you here in studio with us, and happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much.
I hope you've been celebrating.
We have. And thank you for having us as well.
It's only a pleasure. Kanabo, let's start with you. I mean, you are a director at MNS Attorneys. Can you maybe share what Women's Month means to you, especially for a woman in your field that is maybe still male-dominated? Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know, for us as women, it means a lot. If I can actually just take you back a bit in terms of history. Just last year we celebrated 100 years of women being able to practice in the legal fraternity, and the first black woman that was appointed as an attorney, registered as an attorney, was Ms. Finga in 1976. So we've made great strides. We've come a long way. As you say, it is a very male-dominated fraternity or an industry, but you know, being able to celebrate the strides that we've made as women, being able to get to this platform, and being able to showcase that we are fully capable means a lot, and we are grateful. We are happy.
Ororiseng, I mean, you are grateful, of course, many strides have been made, but there must still be some challenges you face, especially as a woman in the legal field.
Absolutely, Baron. I wish I could give you at least one example of those challenges. Unfortunately, it's an ongoing struggle that we overcome on a daily basis with the support of our leaders and our fellow women leaders in the legal field.
Yeah. And then when we talk about these challenges, and when you have young women as well, I mean, you are still young and you're young as well.
Yes.
But, you know, a girl in school, you know, and they want to pursue the legal field. What piece of advice would you like to give to them? I
think, I mean, the general thing is, you know, study, stay focused, etc. But also, within the legal fraternity, you're required to remain in terms of understanding of what's happening in your surroundings, in terms of, you know, your general knowledge. So it's always helpful to have a background that comes with a lot of reading and perseverance. And being focused. And I think maybe it's a general answer that permeates through all industries. But for me, it's very important for a person to read, have a lot of general knowledge, and to persevere, stay focused.
And it's also important to have role models, isn't it? Mandisa Maya, of course, that is major news for us as a country. And she is breaking barriers. She's already made history before, now she's doing it again. How important is it to have a role model like her in this field?
It's incredibly important. It's incredibly important to see myself as a young black woman represented in such a high court by a woman that looks like me. It's incredibly important, is what I can say.
And for you?
I think the same. It also paves the way. It reminds us that we are capable. It's very important, as you mentioned earlier, to have role models that look like you, that come from similar backgrounds. And is encouraging and continues to make you strive and know that you'll also get there at some point in time.
If I'm not mistaken, are you hosting an event when it comes to women in law, or is it still happening?
We are.
Okay, great. So tell us more about that and what that means.
So yes, thank you. So like you said, it's Women's Month, and generally what we do is we just want to get all women in terms of the legal fraternity together, clients specifically, and us as colleagues, where we just gather, relax, network, and celebrate our presence in the legal fraternity, celebrate our achievements in the legal fraternity, and continue to encourage each other. So it will be happening at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there key themes that you would like to zoom in on, especially seeing that it's a women in law event?
So our theme of the year is taking MNS attorneys to higher strides, or to greater heights rather. And we wanted to tie that theme with, you know, the Women's Month. And this one is Women in Law, taking women to greater heights.
And when it comes to advancing, you know, your commitment as MNS attorneys as well, advancing women in the legal profession beyond Women's Month, there's a lot of work that also goes into that, isn't it?
Absolutely. If I may take this one, for instance, MNS attorneys is very passionate about briefing female advocates, black female advocates, over and above just black advocates, appointing and empowering the black girl. So it's an institution that stays dedicated to empowering women throughout the year, not just on Women's Day or Women's Month.
Yeah. And, you know, the legal field, it's still, like I said earlier as well, very male-dominated. Would you like to see that change in the short term?
I think
when it comes to leadership, especially, you know, like Mandisa Maya now taking over, but she's one of a very few women actually taking up big leadership roles.
I think there's been great strides. You know, I was looking at the stats that were published by the Legal Professions Council, but it's 2022 stats, unfortunately, and women make up 42%. Black female lawyers make up 42% of all the attorneys in South Africa. And in terms of leadership, I mean, our president of the SCA is also a female. And you have the minister, who's also a female, you know, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. And whilst we do want to ensure that women, you know, make their mark and continue to take their space in the legal fraternity, I think we've made great strides. And like I say, if we're sitting at 42%, there's more that can be had, or in terms of us getting into the profession, but it's fairly there. It's almost 50% and not quite, but yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, and the Department of Justice and Corrections is very important to have women leadership figures there as well. It's very important that you mentioned there, an important point. Let's take it a little bit more personal. I mean, you must have worked on some cases, special cases that stand out for you, and maybe you can't say too much, but let's talk about, you know, some cases that you feel excited about, you know, as a woman, especially maybe working in it, and that you were even considered to tackling something like that.
One in particular that comes to mind is one that I'm actually on under the leadership of Kanabo. It's a tax matter. It's especially special to me because tax is such a specialized field that is extremely male-dominated, and that we were trusted as young black women to lead this matter is extremely exciting to me.
As a woman is one thing, but as a black woman in this field, it must also have its other side of challenges as well, isn't it?
Indeed, indeed. Not only is the profession male-dominated, it's also very, you know, white, if I may put it that way, Caucasian. But the challenges have not necessarily been, you know, different to any other challenges in that any other woman face. But we've also been fortunate, I think, if I can make it personal, the support you get from family, the support you get from, you know, my fellow colleagues, you know, MNS itself, like Ororiseng had mentioned earlier, is all about the development of women, the development of black attorneys, and striving for excellence and black excellence at that. So whilst there are challenges, and there are challenges in every profession, when you have the right support, when you are driven, I think, you know, those challenges don't come out as much as, you know, ordinarily had you not had the right support and been given the exposure, as Ororiseng has mentioned, to various matters that ordinarily you would not have been exposed to. Yeah. So it's those things that assist in terms of shaping women, black women, and black women in the legal fraternity in particular. And that will, I think, go a long way in changing the fraternity. Yeah.
And I think very lastly, I mean, just taking a look at the justice system overall in South Africa, the future of this country when it comes to our justice systems as well. Are we on the right path?
That's a tough one to answer, Baron. The statistics that were mentioned earlier, I mean, 42%, it's something, all right? It's making strides in the right direction. But whether we'll get there in the next 10 or 15 years is a whole other question.
Yeah, same question to you as well.
I think we've got good policies, we've got good laws, and our judiciary is quite strong in terms of, ensuring that matters are tried and brought to, and justice is seen to be done. But it needs all of us to take accountability. It needs all of us to play our part. And if we all work together, I think the justice system will just do very well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. It was great to have you here in studio. Yeah, and good luck with everything and all the projects that you are tackling and the Women in Law event taking place. And that's for everyone, isn't it? In the law field, or is it an invite-specific event?
We've closed it off this year.
Okay.
It's specifically for our clients and some of our colleagues and advocates.
But I'm sure a lot will be discussed. A lot of important matters when it comes to women in law, and especially very important for this Women Month. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was Kanabo Skhosana, of course, and Ororiseng Maema from MNS Attorneys. On to this now. Just thanks for staying with us. Actually, is it time for me to leave? It is indeed. From myself, Baron Hufkin.